What's going on, everyone? So, what a wild season thus far that the Lakers have endured, right? Um, Lakers have gone through quite the ringer this year, right? New head coach, who JJ Redick has been fantastic. If Lakers finish top three, I really think he deserves coach of the year. Ime Udoka is probably going to get it if Houston finishes as the 2 seed. But if Lakers finish 2 or 3, there's a genuine argument JJ Redick deserves coach of the year. To go from, again, new team, new scheme to, Anthony Davis missed time, LeBron missed time, and then, obviously the Luka trade and integrating a new superstar and all that, right? And just the whole build up to the trade deadline and everything like that, right? Like, is the Lakers going to do anything? They make the trade for Dorian Finney-Smith, and it's like, is that it? Like, we need a center. What is going to happen? How is this going to go? And then, lo and behold, the Lakers end up getting Luka, and all of us were just like, what? Like, what just happened? And then follow that up with the Mark Williams trade that ends up getting rescinded and ends up not going through because of medical concerns. And then it's just like, okay, well, now what do we do at center? And it's just been a mess, right? Lakers had like a 2-month stretch where they're like the best team in the league, number 2 defense overall in the NBA, just like seemed like they were steamrolling folks. LeBron ends up going down, right? Lakers still continue to win. Then Luka gets integrated, right? And then they went on this stretch, right? And the stretch was brutal, tough stretch, right? 6 games in 8 nights. You knew the Lakers were going to struggle regardless. I mean, they had, 10 games in 14 nights total. I mean, you can go on and on because their schedule doesn't get easier. It doesn't get lighter. They are currently on a back-to-back at the time of this video being recorded, right? They're going to play the Chicago Bulls later today. They just got a win, huge win. Thank you, LeBron James, right? Huge tip-in that ended a losing streak. Previous to that game, Lakers only won 3 out of the last 7 games. And it's just like, is it tired legs? Like, what is it? What's going on? The defense is stagnant. Is it just kind of like that stretch at the end of the year that some teams just go through, right? A lot of questions. Well, here we are. The final 10 games of the season, right? Now, going into the season, I said that the Lakers would win 52 games, right? They're currently 44-28. So for me to get my 52 games, they'd have to go 8-2 down the stretch. I don't think that happens. Now, in my defense, right, when I predicted the 52 wins, nowhere in my card of prediction, nowhere in my crystal ball, nowhere in my astrology or whatever, nowhere anywhere did I have Luka Doncic being a Los Angeles Laker. So that kind of gives me a little leeway, right? Give me a little slack. 50 wins. You got to at least get 50 wins. And I actually said this after the Luka trade that I was like, I had people asking how many games do I think they win. I said that I thought that they'd have some struggles. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, right? Actually, kind of a lot of what's happened. I talked about, Lakers having some struggles. I think that they'll have some stretches. They'll lose some games that they shouldn't have lost. Probably win a couple games, right? Like, regardless, you got 10 games left, right? So, Lakers have to, in my opinion, bare minimum, go 6-4. If you go 6-4 in these final 10 games, which would technically be 7-4 in the final 11 games because they go on a win, right? But if you go 6-4 in the final 10 games, that'd be great. You get 50 wins. I think that's good enough for bare minimum a top 4 seed. Luckily, the Lakers also have the tiebreakers against teams, so it might be good enough for even a top 2 or 3 seed if, the Houston Rockets and which we play for the tiebreaker, play them twice. You handle both times, you have the tiebreaker now, and you'd overtake them at that point. But I digress, right? Denver and Houston, and really Memphis, because Memphis is on our tail. Those are the 3 teams that you kind of are in this fight for. Lakers luckily play all those, outside of Denver, they play Memphis and they play Houston during the stretch. Can the Lakers go 6-4? Of course, Lakers could go 8-2, right? I mean, again, you got Luka, LeBron, and Reeves. Defense buys in. We've seen this team go on an 8-game win streak, right? Against some of the best teams in the league, Denver, Boston, Knicks, right? Like, so Lakers, we've seen, even in a tough stretch, go and win 8 straight games. So can the Lakers do it? Absolutely. Will they is another story. Here's how the final 10 games go. You got the second game of a back-to-back against the Chicago Bulls, who literally laid the blueprint on how to beat the Lakers. Right? I said it after the game. Laid the blueprint on how to beat the Lakers. You saw Orlando do the literally exact same game plan as Chicago. And then you saw Indiana try to do the exact same thing as Chicago. Right? Difference with the Indiana game is the Lakers actually brought the effort. They played better defensively. And they were just much better offensively. Right? Because you look, Lakers put up 120, where in the Bulls loss, they put up 115, and then in the Magic loss, they put 106, right? Although the Bulls, that's good enough. 115 is enough to win a game. But when you give up 146 points, not winning very many games that way, right? But the final 10 games for the Lakers are the Chicago Bulls, right? Then the big games. The Memphis Grizzlies, right? On the road in Memphis. The Houston Rockets that you play at home. You're at home. You have to win those two games. Then you play the Warriors. You play the Pelicans. If the Lakers can beat the Grizzlies and the Rockets, I think it's very realistic that they end up on, winning a four straight games. We'll see what happens with the Bulls. Might even be 6 straight games, right? If they beat the Bulls, because you have the Pacers, the Bulls. Because Lakers have owned the Warriors. It's a great matchup for us, right? We'll see, what's going on with Steph and all that stuff. But, even if everybody plays for the Warriors, I still like that matchup for the Lakers. Like, Warriors are one of the few teams that doesn't have the size on the interior to really bother us. So I love that matchup, right? Pelicans, obviously the Pelicans. Not that you should take any team lightly, especially the Lakers and the way that the Lakers like to play to their competition. That doesn't help. But that's a possibility. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, right? But you have the Grizzlies, the Rockets, the Warriors, the Pelicans. Then you play the Thunder twice. Literally 2 times on the road. And, I should also mention, the Warriors and the Pelicans are a back-to-back. And then the second Thunder game with the Dallas Maverick game, which will actually be Luka's return to Dallas, are on a back-to-back. So Lakers still have, after the current back-to-back against Chicago, 2 more back-to-backs. So if you thought, at least, hey, tough schedule, but at least we won't have as many back-to-backs, well, hate to break it to you. Still have as many back-to-backs, right? Then after the Thunders twice, you got the Mavericks, you got the Rockets, and then you got the Blazers who, they'll probably have it packed in at that point on the road in Portland. Now, I think in these final 10 games, you got the Pelicans and the Blazers, and honestly, Dallas, right? Because I think Luka balls out those games. You have at least 3 games, in my opinion, that the Lakers, again, should win. Is with this Lakers team at times can be a little daunting. But again, you have the Blazers, the Pelicans, and the Mavericks, right? If you handle business against the Bulls, then you really technically only have to win 2 more games the rest of the way to go 6-4 and get to 50 wins, right? If they beat the Bulls, I think it really comes down to that Grizzlies and Rockets game. If the Lakers actually beat the Memphis Grizzlies and the Houston Rockets, I actually think they get to 52 wins. Because I think they'll go on an extended win streak. And then the Thunder games, I think they lose at least one of the Thunder games. Hopefully not both, but at least one of them. So, again, Lakers would have to go essentially 8-2 here. But I do think 8-2 is not completely out of the question. Let's say you lose one of the Thunder games and you lose, let's say you lose the Grizzlies game, right? Because it's on the road, right? If you beat the Bulls, the Rockets twice at home, because you're at home, right? The Warriors, the Pelicans, one of the Thunder games, the Mavericks and the Blazers. I think that's realistic. I don't think that's that far-fetched. But I'm going to say 6-4, get to 50 wins. If they hit my original prediction of 52, beautiful, chef kiss. Best believe I'll be up here like, I told you, right? But no, in all seriousness, like I said, at the end of the day, I care less about seeding and record as I do the health and figuring out what you need to heading into the playoffs. Those are my biggest things. Those are my biggest points. Those are the things that I'm looking for the most, right? If the Lakers are the 5th seed and win the NBA championship, no one at the end of it is going to be like, yeah, Lakers won the chip, but they were the 5th seed. And like, no one's going to care, right? Like, everyone's going to be like, Lakers just won the chip, right? If the Lakers win the 2 seed or get the 2 seed and lose in the first round, nobody's going to care. Oh, but yeah, but they got the 2 seed. Hey, like, no one's going to care. Everyone's going to be like, the Lakers lost in the first round, right? Like, so to me, health is the biggest factor, more so than seeding. Obviously, I don't want to be a play-in team, which I've said from the beginning, even when the Lakers went on that original 4-game losing streak and LeBron was out, I was like, they'll weather the storm enough to not be a play-in team. They're not going to, I don't see them going to the play-in. I still don't see them going to the play-in. But 50 wins. Got to get at least 50 wins. And I think that should be good enough for a top 4 seed, which will give you home court in the first round. And let's go. Let's go gear up for a championship. But home stretch is here. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think the record is? I'd love to hear it either way. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.